Welcome back, everyone, to another boxinacorner.net video, and in today's episode we are going to be taking a look at the Stella Maiden closed beta. I'm very excited to talk about this game because I've been waiting on it for quite some time now for it to be released. Keep in mind that this is a closed beta, and I'm going to go ahead and give my public relations talk here. The footage and images that you see in front of you right now are a product in development, meaning that the final product may or may not represent what you see and what I am talking about. So keep that in mind, that the developer is still working on this game and the end product may differ. Okay? Was that good enough? Was that a good enough PR speech? I hope it was. In any case, as with all my videos, feel free to use the timestamps listed below in the video description to jump to a topic that interests you. I'm going to be treating this video very casually because I'm just going to talk your head off about the game. It is a beta after all, so I don't want to put too much effort into it, but at the same time, I do want to explore all the ins and outs of it for the people who are genuinely curious about it. So I'm going to address two audiences in this game. People who are also in the closed beta. Maybe you got an invite or you were invited after you applied, and then you want to know how the game works because this is very confusing. And for other people who are genuinely interested in this game, and they might have stumbled across this video. And if the previous game by this developer, Mist I should say, is any indication, a lot of their marketing is word of mouth. So they don't really have a huge marketing budget. So I am going to do my best to put my best foot forward and talk about the game in as much detail as possible. So that way people who do like what they see can really appreciate what this game has to offer. Okay, so that is my introduction. So some house cleaning things to get out of the way first. This is going to be a very long video. Once again, please use the timestamps below if you're short on time, or if you're someone that's very impatient and you just want to see certain aspects about the game or something that you're curious about, or maybe you saw someone else play it and you're curious about a particular subject. Use those timestamps to jump to that particular topic. As well, I am going to talk a lot in this video, so I would recommend that you take it easy and you watch it in segments, meaning that you don't have to watch the video in one sitting, or maybe you're grinding in another game. Okay, maybe you're doing something else and you need someone to talk to. Okay, maybe you're lonely and I'm talking to you. Whatever the case may be, feel free to just kind of let it be background noise and wash over you as you're somewhat curious. Okay, is what I'm trying to get at, because if you watch this all in one setting, it might be information overload, because I am going to be talking a lot about this particular game. Other house cleaning things is I obviously know how to use video editing software, and I know how to use recording software. I'm recording this on OBS as we speak. I do notice the black bars on either side of the middle of the screen, and yes, that is as intended. The reason being is I'm recording this on a PC emulator, BlueStacks to be very specific, and the way that the game is handled is that it's meant for cell phones as well as tablets. So that is a game that is orientated vertically. I'm recording this on a canvas of 1920 by 1080, which is your standard 1080p resolution. So because the emulator cannot stretch the image that way without looking absolutely horrendous, it crops it and stretches it to fit as much as possible to that canvas, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'll be putting useful information to the left and to the right of the main game screen. If you do happen to play this game on a phone or tablet, it will be in full screen because the orientation of your phone or tablet is vertical, at least for now, at least until Elon Musk decides to make a square phone for some reason, because he's Elon Musk. But that's not here or there. Let's talk about Stella Maiden, shall we? All right. So previously on my channel, I talked about a game made by the same developer, Mist, who I love absolutely, because we're both kind of like people stumbling about in the world trying to find our footing. And what I'm getting is that their first game that they released was called Planet Master, and I absolutely love that game for its charm more than its gameplay. It was a clicker/incremental game, and that's not everyone's cup of tea, I understand, but I just really loved the character and the artwork and just the environment. And I'm a sucker for sci-fi. Okay, I love things sci-fi. Okay, I'm not necessarily a high fantasy person, doesn't mean I hate it, but sci-fi takes precedence over a lot of other genres. So because it was a sci-fi game, I picked it up. And then I played it, I enjoyed it, I made some videos. Fast forward until now. So at the beginning of this year, January 29th, 2018, I should say, Myst announced that they were going to make a new game, and they were planning to release it by March, and that was called Stella Maiden, which we're looking at right now. Unfortunately for them, for whatever hiccup happened to come across the road, bumps on the road in progress, the game was horrendously delayed. So much, in fact, that the closed beta, which I am playing right now and I'm showing you guys, was delayed all the way until the last day of October. This game was literally released, I think, 2 days ago. I'm recording this on November 1st. It was released on October 30th, I believe, is when the test server went up. So yeah, expect this game to be released sometime in 2019, but don't expect it to be early. I would wager maybe at the end of 2019, okay? So a lot of things may change from here and then, but it's nice to see at least the closed beta is out. And the way I am going to structure this video is very mechanically. I'm going to go through every aspect of the game bit by bit. I'm going to break everything down. Like I said, a lot of talking. And I'm not going to try to edit stuff into it too much other than maybe something very humorous, some humorous jokes here and there. And of course, information on the left and the right. So once again, please use the timestamps in the description below. I have to sound like a broken record if you just want to jump to a particular topic, okay? It's a long video, I know, but it's the only video I want to make for a beta product, if that makes any sense. I don't want to get too much stuff into a beta because everything might change, okay? This might become a World War II first-person shooter by the end of December. I have no idea, all right? So let's go ahead and begin with Stella Maiden. So let's go ahead and look at our main window right here and all of this jazz. But before we do that, what exactly is Stella Maiden? So Stella Maiden can best be described as a merging of two genres, and that is 4X space strategy. I said strace for some reason. As well as real-time strategy in the form of live combat, okay? And you have a sprinkling of RPG elements in the form of building up your units, leveling up your facilities or planets, etc., stuff like that. I'll get to that in a moment. But I am equally annoyed when other people name drop a genre, like they say, oh, XYZ game is like this, and it's kind of like that game, but a spiritual successor, okay? I know how annoying that can be when the truth is so far from what they're talking about. So when I mean 4X strategy elements, I mean that there's a lot of empire building like things in this game. You have to manage a lot of resource management and time, etc., stuff like that, what to build, what to create to get more resources, and you have to go explore, conquer regions or areas of space, or the universe, I should say, to thus further expand your bases of operation, if that makes any sense, okay? As far as the RTS, combat in this game is indeed live. This is not an auto battle game. This is not a incremental. This is a game where your skill does matter, but it is somewhat automated, okay? So your units do fight in real time. They take damage in real time, and you are punished for sucking. All right, that's the best way I can put it. If you suck, you will be punished for it. That does not mean that it makes it a hard game. It just means that those with better skill will reap better rewards because they're not going to spend all of that time with their units in repair or reviving mode. All right, so yeah, that's cool. I'll show you combat in just a moment. But that is Stella Maiden in a nutshell. Now, the artwork is very cutesy. As you can see right here, my girls slash units slash reflectstars slash personifications of various astronomical bodies. I don't even know if astronomical is a word. That's not. But basically, your units are the personifications of various star systems and star bodies and stars themselves out there, okay? But they're pictured as cute little girls. And their icons and portraits are obviously human and very anime slash from Japan, from Korea, from Asia, okay? So if that's not your cup of tea, I'm sorry to say that. It is my cup of tea. I drink this by gallons. I love this type of art style because it's a nice icing on the cake for a very technical and pretty deep, frankly speaking, game. All right, and that is that. So let's go ahead and explain the status screen. The next 30 to 40 minutes may be boring to folks out there that are only interested in how the game looks like in combat and the overall gist of it. So like I said, jump ahead using the timestamps below. For those who are actually in the beta or thinking about joining the closed beta, and you can join, I think the developer is very open to allowing people to join the closed beta. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and give you the whole rundown on how to play this game and how to navigate all of these menus, because 4X strategy games, it's menus upon menus on top of other menus. Bro, I heard you like menus, so here's some menus, okay? That's how 4X strategy games work. That's the way Empire management is. So on the top right here, you're going to see 4 major resources followed by a 5th resource, which is highlighted in yellow, and that is your freemium resource. We'll get to that in just a moment. Okay, my emulator is being stupid. There we go. So your first resource is going to be crystal, followed by gas, followed by metal, followed by ether. Okay, if you ever need a reminder about what those are called, go and click on your daily attendance tab. You just go and click on the rewards, and you notice it says crystal, gas, metal, and ether. So there you go. See, I did my homework. There are 3 numbers stacked on top of one another. The first number indicates how many resources you are getting per 10 minutes of real life. So I'm getting 2 crystals per 10 minutes of real life time, not in-game time. In-game time is real life time. I have 1,451 crystals currently, so that's what that color-coded number is, out of 5,000 maximum capacity. Okay, so you obviously can go ahead and increase your capacity. You obviously can go ahead and increase the amount of resources you generate. Okay, and this is true for all of the additional resources. Now, the freemium resource is no stranger to anyone that's ever played an Android game. At the current state, Stella Maiden is a freemium game, meaning that it's going to be a game that's free to play, but it will have freemium money. In that, you can go ahead and use real money to convert it into these little cubes right here. And the cubes allow you to facilitate many different things in the game for your convenience. As with all freemium games, how much you want to spend and how much of a convenience or inconvenience is strictly up to the individual. I always tell people, don't just play one freemium game. Always play 3, maybe even 4 at a time. That way, you're not stuck in the mindset that you need to hurry things along, because you're going to be too busy juggling between 4 different games. When you come back to each game, your resources or your time, your stamina, your energy, whatever you want to call it, is going to be regenerated, and then you're going to be too busy juggling so many aspects between different games that you're not even really going to notice it. Okay, and this is how those people who always state on the forums annoyingly that they've played the game for free for ages and they got where they were, well, they're actually talking the truth. They just happen to play more games than you at a time. All right, so that's the freemium currency. I'll show you what you can buy later with it. But right now, let's go and move on to the next set of icons. So the first icon is a chat icon, pretty self-explanatory. Go and click that. You can go and type in a bunch of stuff, which will show up in the main chat window. So if you click on the speech bubble, this will bring up the main chat window. So right now, we are currently in closed beta. All of the English as well as Korean players are all lumped together. In the future, there will be more channels and maybe different servers, but right now everyone's lumped together. So as you can see, I can see the chat window. I can see what everyone is saying, and that's what I would see in my own message if I type something in chat. Okay, so you can close that. You can switch channels. You can do all of that jazz. It is not important. I don't think anyone really cares unless you're just gonna write a bunch of memes and stuff like that. Moving on to the next little icon, that is a compass. So this is a tool of convenience. You notice that on my units or girls in the middle right here, they have these little icons around them, okay? And these are points of interest. So Stella Maiden is a free roaming space game, meaning that it's a gigantic map. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on to the next icon over here. I'm jumping around a little bit to give some context of what I'm talking about. So it's an open universe, meaning that you can travel anywhere you want to, literally from the beginning of the game. If you want to go to the edges of the map, the corner of the map right here and explore, you're more than allowed to do so. Chances are, however, that this game is linear gated. What do I mean by that? Like any other open world game, if you're level 1 and then you run too far one side of a map, you're probably going to run into a bunch of gigantic enemies that are going to smash the living crap out of you, okay? And then you're going to disintegrate, you're going to be very sad that all your units are dead, and you're going to be wondering what the heck happened. You're going to blink and ask what happened because it's that fast. So that's why I'm talking about linear gating. So yes, it's open world, but your progress in the game will dictate how far you can realistically go without entering an area that you cannot handle. All right, so these little navigation icons will show points of interest near your current party or your units, okay? So you can see right here that I'm leaving Earth and it's getting farther and farther away. Since I had discovered Earth already, if I click on the little compass icon, my units will auto-travel back to Earth. Now this other one, SA1, which is a kind of like a little base, right? It's 105 meters from my current location, but I've already discovered it. If I click there, I will automatically travel to that point. Reopening up the map, I can also use the map to navigate, okay? So let's say I want to head to the moon, which is right next to me. I can click on it right there, click on move, and my units will move in real time, okay? I have to actually close the window and monitor them, and then they've just gone ahead and went to the moon. And here we are at the moon, okay? So that's what that compass icon is for. You can actually turn it off if you want to. That way you can just kind of see your units floating about. They're all floating about. Or you can turn it back on, which of course is the recommended thing to do. So the next icon is your calendar. This is your login rewards. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go over this too much. Every day you log in, you're going to get a reward. And the more you log in, the better the reward will get. And then it's going to reset after the 30 days is up. Attendance is reset every day at 0000. That is midnight in Korea, and as well as Japan. For me, since I'm in California, that is 8 a.m. in the morning. So that's what that icon is for. The next one is your mailbox. You're going to be getting mail from the GM or other players in the future. That's where you can check for mail pieces. Following that, you have something of an instance thing is the best way I can describe it. So in other Android games, there are certain instances that you can generate. This is for ease of convenience as well as things to do. So an instance in this game is that you use a bunch of training drones to go ahead and fight instantaneously. That will give you various rewards based on the parameters of that instance. Okay, so for example, this first one says retrieve information one step meaning level 1. Okay, it's going to require 1 training ticket, which regenerates over time, as you see right there. And my possible rewards are going to be 1 to 20 research data. Okay, required BP 50, that's the prerequisite. I hope I'm saying it right, requisite. And what that means is that my party has to be battle point or battle ready of 50, which I am. Okay. And then if I enter it, I'm going to get anywhere from 1 to 20 depending on how well I do. So let's go and enter it to show you guys how it looks like. I'm going to go yes. And Earth, lovely Earth here is going to show us training demakers, I should say, will show up. Defeat them and obtain research data. Demakers are the enemies of this game, by the way. They demake the universe, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to do my best to record, talk, and play at the same time. My units, I'm going to do a piss poor job of it because I can barely see the screen right now. You can see all these units flying. So what I mean by RTS is you can individually click on every ship that you fight out there, do damage to it, and cast your special ability. Now I have mine on auto cast. That's not auto shoot, but auto cast, because like I said, I'm playing this in one hand. I'm playing it on a crappy emulator, and yeah, it's just a big hot mess right now. If you were playing this on phone or a tablet, you can actually control it a lot better. And I'll show you a less hectic battle in just a moment. But you can juke and jive. You can dictate the outcome of your battles if you are good enough. Okay, and you can manually cast all of the skills. You do not have to put it on autocast. Autocast is there for convenience sake. So that was an instance, all right? And that's how that system works out. I hope I explained it well enough. Moving on to the next icon, we have your missions list. So your missions are separated into dailies, weeklies, main, which is kind of like your lifetime goals, and then scenario, which are campaign or story mode goals. So these are pretty self-explanatory. If you finish your daily missions, you'll get daily rewards. If you finish your weeklies, you'll get weekly rewards. Of course, they are a much larger scale because they are weekly. And then your overall lifetime achievements are your lifetime goals. Basically, you want to go and clear this list as much as possible to get your resources rolling in the right direction, so you don't have to end up spending freemium currency. And then there's always the campaign. The campaign, of course, is where you actually see the story of the game. And there are some people who like that stuff, so that is what that list is for. They've also, I should say, Miss has made a missions list on the left-hand side on the front right here. So you can actually go ahead and click on these, and it will do its best to bring you to a section that you can go ahead and complete that mission. Okay, so for example, this daily mission, I want to summon 4 Reflectstars, aka 4 units, right? So if I click on it, it's going to bring me to the summoning screen. See, so I can go ahead and complete my mission if I want to. Whereas this one says destroy SE3 base, I should say. If I click on that, my units are going to start automatically traveling to that base to go fight it. Okay, so I don't want to do that because I'm going to get destroyed. But that's how that little mission list works. So it's a piece of convenience, and that's what that's all about. I already showed you the map earlier. Let me go and expand on this map. So this map is divided, I should say. I'm sorry, I'm running out of breath here. Let me take a swig of my drink. Refreshing. Okay, there you go. And it's divided into sectors. Even though I drank something, I'm still losing my mind. So right now we are in the Sol sector. Okay, obviously Earth, Moon, Mars. These should be very familiar to you if you had a high school education or better. In the future, you're going to enter other systems, and they have not been discovered by me yet. I'm not even sure they're even made in the game yet because this is a beta. But that's what that's all about. So you can go and swap in between the various sectors that you have unlocked. But right now we are currently in the Sol system, and this is the map for the Sol system. Okay, this overwarp core I think is instantaneous travel. I haven't used it yet, but that could be instantaneous travel between any location on another sector. So for example, if we were in the Sol system now, and then we're in the, I don't know, what's this last sector, the Delta Quadrant, to use a Star Trek reference. If we find the Delta Quadrant, we can go and click there and then instantaneously warp over and start fighting, I don't know, Cardassians or something. But yeah, that's what that's all about. Okay, so that's the map. Let's go and click on this icon. I'm not sure what this does right now, to be exact. I think this is our lifetime storage, because I see cores and costumes. Our units do actually have different costumes, which I'll show you in just a moment. But this one's pretty empty right now, so I'm not sure what that is. I'll find out eventually, but that's what that icon is. And we apparently have a storage limit of 80. So yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and move on to our settings. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Volume for our music, volume for our sound. Auto supply is something I'll show you in just a moment. Speech bubbles, if you don't want your units talking to you, so like right now Earth just said something, and then sometimes in the game they'll have flavor text. They'd be like, oh, you know, it's really cold out today, kind of like a joke, because you know they're out in space. You can go and turn that off and on if you find that annoying or too cute, and it's like you're oozing with cuteness. Post effects, skill scene, chat lines, also pretty self-explanatory. This is just the graphic intensity of the game. If you find it running sluggish, just go and turn it off. And then frame rate is the same thing. You want the game running at 60 frames or 30 frames, and then the resolution of the game, low, mid, or high. For some reason, my emulator will not let me run in high mode, so it's stuck on mid. And then at the bottom, you can change the name of your commander, the language the game is in, go on the official forums, feedback to the developer, or log out of the current account for the game. Okay, and that's that. Phew. All right, so how long is this video? 21 minutes of me blabbering, and it's going to keep going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest my breath for just a moment. I'm going to do a nice fade in editing, and I'll talk about the icons and the models. Just give me a second, folks. All right, let's go ahead and keep this happy train moving on with the icons at the bottom, starting with Reflectstar. And what exactly is this? So this is Stella Maiden's summon system. So if you've ever played an Android game where you have various units, this is where you can go ahead and summon those units. But this game uses a more modern summoning system versus to other games that use the traditional ticket system. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so let's go ahead and click on this one because I haven't summoned anything yet. So on the top left-hand corner, you see something that is called Reflectstar cores. This is your raw minimum requirement to go ahead and summon a unit. You need at least one of these to summon a unit. As you can see over here, it says 1. Energy cores I'm not sure of. I think this is a later modification. I've yet to get one, and I don't think I've seen it in the game yet, so I'm going to go and leave that alone. And then the swift summon is you quickly summoning the unit, because in this game, once you summon a unit, it actually doesn't summon instantaneously. It takes a cooldown before the unit actually pops out. Now, why I call this a modern summoning system is that this is actually a secretly coded summoning system. What do I mean by that? So right now, I need 100 crystal, 100 gas, 100 metal, and 100 ether, as well as 1 Reflectstar core to summon a unit. Okay. In the future, when there are events or if the developer releases a secret summoning code, they might say like, hey, I'm going to give everyone a free 5-star Reflectstar or 5-star unit. All right. And you're going to be like, great. And he's going to say, you need 1 Reflectstar core, and then you need, I don't know, 130 crystals, you need 400 gas, you need 132 metal, and then you need, I don't know, 280 ether. Okay, so this is actually a code that he would give you, or the event would give you, and you can use it, and you'll get that specific unit because it's already coded in there. All right, and this also can be true for story-based units. So in other words, there might be units out there that are static. They have a static summoning cost. So for those new players out there, they would go into a wiki, they would look at the wiki, and they'll be like, oh, I can afford this unit right away if I just spend 130 crystal, 400 gas, 132 metal, 280 ether, and then boom, I get a 5-star unit right off the bat because someone has discovered that before. Okay, so that's what this system is all about. It's actually in other games, more modern Android games, I should say, rather than the old archaic summoning ticket system. I'm sorry about that. I need to take a drink because my voice is hurting a lot. But this is also a gambling system in that you don't have to have a specific set of resources to summon a unit. If you randomly enter a random amount of resources, you will then tier off your potential summons. What do I mean by this? So right now I have 100, 100, 100, 100. Okay, this is the lowest amount of resources that I can use to summon a unit. If I use this right now, I'm more than likely going to get a pretty crappy unit. Why is that? Because this is the bare amount to summon. Now, if I were to go mad baller mode and go, you know, let's say 9999 everything, okay, and then use a Reflectstar core, I would more than likely, not guaranteed, but more than likely get a more powerful unit, okay? Because I wasted so many resources in summoning them. Now, is this overkill? Probably is, right? Because this is the maximum resources you can use. But that's how this summoning system works if you've never seen it. Like I said, in some games they have it. You're probably familiar with it. If you've never seen it before, that's how this works, okay? So you gamble, essentially, with how many resources you need to go ahead and summon a particular unit, all right? Or if you know the exact amount that you need to summon that unit, you can just go and input the quote-unquote code and get that unit. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you folks out there. And that is that. So that is summon. So let's go and move on to info. So info is basically the status of this game. It will allow you to see the portrait as well as the stats for your particular unit. So this is good old Earth, U-R-T-H. Thank you, Will Smith and Independence Day. She's currently at level 7. That's her current HP to it, right? This is her current power level. Fusion, I don't know what that is yet. I'm assuming that's if you get duplicate copies, but I could be wrong. This is her tier right now. She's a 3-star unit. Okay, so that means that she's right in the middle. And she's classified as a planet. This is just kind of like flavor because Earth is a planet. That's the one that we live on. The resources that she is used to level up are crystal and metal, as you can see right here. And she's currently wearing her basic costume. Okay, you can actually go and change the costume for your characters. I'll talk more about that later. Here are her statistics, which you can actually level up. I'll talk about that in the leveling up window. And this is her derived battle power from all of the other factors concerned. Okay, so she's currently ranked battle power 41. That's her power level. On the bottom, that is her skill, what level it's at and exactly what it does, as well as its next level if you decide to level it up. Okay, so that is the status screen. If you go and click on the hide icon, you would just go and see the beautiful picture of Earth in her default outfit. Just go and hide that. There you go. Click on the right arrow, you move on to the next planet or star. Okay, so Mercury is obviously a planet. She's a 2-star. Io is an asteroid. I thought she was a moon. Is she an asteroid? Whatever. I don't know my astronomy. And as you can see, she's a 2-star. She's level 5. Different stats, different powers, etc., different portraits. Okay, so that's how the info tab works. Moving on to upgrade. Pretty self-explanatory stuff, but I'm going to go and briefly talk about this for the people out there who are playing the beta and how to read this. So you actually have different status in the game: attack speed, defense, critical, evasion. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of min-maxers out there figuring this all out. You have your character level, which should not be confused with your power level. So what do I mean by this? So Earth right now is currently at level 7. That is the character level. Your power level, which is known as RV3 or RV level, mine's currently at 3. What does this mean? I believe that your power level never exceeds your character level. So in other words, I cannot go past power level 7 right now because my character level is only 7. And I believe character level only affects HP. I could be wrong about that. So how you upgrade your level in terms of power is by either sacrificing other units in there. So like, for example, I have multiple copies of Phobos. If I do that, okay, that's going to give me 120 energy points or energy credits. As you can see right here, the next upgrade requirement to get to my next power level is 100. Okay, so if I merge all these 3 Phobos into Earth, she's going to go up to power level 4. Okay. Now, if I don't want to do that, I could just use my energy credits, which are in the form of tokens. So I currently have 13 tokens. This is 13 upgrade energy. If I click on one token, it will give me 100 energy. And that happens to be, coincidentally, the amount I need to go ahead and increase Earth's power level. So let's go and do that right now. You will receive 100 upgrade experience or credits. Do you want to proceed? Yes. And then she has leveled up an additional level. She has a status point. So this is the RPG elements I was talking about earlier. I'm going to put everything into attack because I know nothing better to do right now with all my units. So I just leveled her up, and you see right here, her power level has now jumped up to 4. She is level 7 overall, but her power level is now 4 because I just upgraded her with the energy credit. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Moving on to Reinstate. This is recycling your character into resources. So you have duplicate copies and you have nothing to do with them. You can go ahead and turn them into resources. So the Phobos right here, I can turn her into 12 gas. Her at level 1 would turn into 12 gas if I decide to recycle her. If I put 3 Phobos, it will be 36 gas. Makes logical sense, right? So this is a way of getting resources should you absolutely need them. I think it's a horrible waste to waste units, because I'll talk more about that later. Fusion I have not unlocked yet because I'm not at level 20, so yeah, we'll get there, that bridge, as we cross it. And this tab is unlocked as well. I think it has something to do with Fusion, yada yada. So this recovery tab is special. What this is that it allows you to recover the health of your units after they fight. So let's go ahead and do some fighting. So I'm going to go and click on the little icon right there and head on over to base number 1, enemy base SE1. Okay. And then let's go ahead and fight. Once again, my abilities are on autocast, and it kind of looks like a cluster fiesta. I don't want to drop the F-bomb here. I am also zoomed terribly in. I can actually go ahead and zoom out of the map and fight more strategically and dodge these bullets a lot better, but I'm doing a piss poor job right now because I'm controlling this with one hand, with my other hand on a mic in front of a recording computer. Nonetheless, the battle has completed. I got my unit from blowing up that base, and my units have taken damage. Okay, so I click on the little recovery tab right here, and I can go ahead and put units in the recovery queue. Okay, so I want to choose Earth and EO because they are a little bit damaged. Do I want to recover them? Yes. It's going to take resources. 2, 1, 1. So 2 crystal, 1 gas, 1 metal. Recover. Yes. They are going to disappear from my roster. See, so I only have 3 units right now flying around. But if I click on the recovery tab, it will give me a countdown timer when they will rejoin the battle. Okay, so in a couple of seconds, you'll see them magically reappear in my team, or my wing, if you want to go and use airplane terms. Okay, so right now I'm just flying around, la 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 la, us 3 girls going in circles, and then you'll see that Reflectstar EO is complete, and she joined our team back. See, so now she's back. So now I have 4 back in my wing. Okay, and Earth is going to take a little bit longer because she was a little bit more damaged. Okay, so she has 30 more seconds and counting down. But that's how the recovery system works. So this is where I was talking about earlier that in the game, if you suck and you just kind of run headlong into enemies, you don't strategize, you don't kite, you don't do anything, you technically can do that. You can technically overpower the enemy if you have enough levels and powers, etc., stuff like that. But you will pay dearly for it in the form of recovery time. And if your units get critically damaged or even destroyed in the process, not only are you going to waste a lot of time waiting for them to recover and then rejoin the wing, but they're also going to take up more resources because they were more damaged in the process. Okay, so long and short of it, it's a live action game. Suck less, enjoy the game more. There you go. All right, there's my explanation. Moving on to the planet system. So I'm going to have to take a swig of my drink right now, so forgive me a second here. This one is going to be a headache to explain because if you are a 4X strategy person, this is going to make a lot of sense to you. If you're not a 4X strategy person, you've never played a 4X strategy game, you don't even know what I'm talking about, you're like, who is this fool? What is he talking about 4X strategy? Well, 4X strategy means that it's empire management. So you have to manage your empire. You have to manage the things that you have conquered, okay? So I'm not saying that we've conquered Earth, Moon, and Mars. These are our areas that we can build stuff on because we own them, okay? So let's go and click on good old Earth here. So on Earth, I currently have 2 power plants, a crystal plant, a metal storage, and a metal mining station. Okay, these are the current facilities that I have built on Earth to go and help me create stuff. Okay, so what does that mean? The power plants I need to power other facilities, and the facilities themselves will give me various benefits depending on the facility that I build. So for example, if I click on this empty tile right here, I can go ahead and choose from these particular resources, right? So I can build another power plant to get more power to power other stuff. I can build some more storage so I can max my storage capacity, or I can build a crystal or mining station to go ahead and give you more metal and crystal respectively, okay? You'll notice that each little icon has self-explanatory prerequisites. For example, a crystal plant needs 18 space on that planet. It'll need 10 energy, and it'll need a previous facility. So this one needs a crystal storage to build a crystal plant. This metal storage needs a power plant to build. Does that make sense to you guys? See, This warp gate requires 24 space, 24 energy, and a power plant. So in other words, if you have 24 space available, you have 24 energy available, but you don't have a power plant, you cannot build the warp gate. That's how it works. And you can build as many facilities as you want as long as you have space for it, which is in this indicator right here. It's the little 4 tile icon. And right now I only have 5 space free, so I can't build anything. This planet is full. Okay. Now this little person icon, which is basically human resources, manpower, in reality, every planet can be administrated. Okay, so I'm using 4X strategy terms here. So what am I talking about? So let's go and head back to Earth here. Earth. That's the moon. Let's head back to Earth. And when I head back to Earth, you're going to see this little icon here that says assign. Okay, so you can assign administrators to your planet, and they are going to build stuff, research stuff, fix things up, etc., stuff like that. And you notice that my 2 extra copies of Io and Phobos, I have assigned them to Earth. So you see the little icon right here. The girl is looking at Earth. Well, really, she's looking at a planet, but it says Earth in the bottom, and that's where they're currently assigned to, and that's this tab over here. So level 1 Io, level 1 Phobos are currently assigned to Earth. And if they're on there, they will go ahead and mine, and they will go ahead and build and research, etc., stuff like that. Now, if you take them off the planet, which is a interesting mechanic, you will go ahead and lose the resources on that planet. So what do I mean by this? So on Earth, I have a crystal mine, but I have taken all of the administrators off of the planet. So you notice my crystal production has dropped to 10 minutes. In other words, I'm generating 1 every 10 minutes. Why is that? Well, there's no one on the planet to go ahead and oversee the crystal mining. Okay, so if I reassign, I only need to assign 1 person, right? Let's say I assign EO, and then my production will go back up to 2 per every 10 minutes. Why is that? Because there's someone administrating the mining on the planet. Okay, so that's how that works. This is 4X strategy terms. The long and short of it, folks, for those of you who are not familiar, is that you need to have someone working on your planet, and they need to stay there. Okay, so that's what that administrative thing is all about, what that assign thing is all about. Okay, they need to be working. It's like assigning a worker. All right, and that's why extra copies of stars and units should be saved, because you can just go ahead and dump the extras onto planets to work as administrators. And that is that for the planet tab. I think there was other information to go over, but I'm losing track of it, so I'm just going to go next to the research. So let's go and open up the research tab. So the research tab is, once again, more empire management. You can go ahead and research higher level facilities. For example, power plant right now is currently at level 1. Do I want to research a level 2 power plant? If I do, it's going to require these many resources. It's going to require this much research data, and then it's going to take 1 hour of real time to finish. If I do this, I can then, in my, and I don't have a better term for it, empire, go ahead and increase the power plants. Okay, so right now I have 2 level 1 power plants. If I did the research for them and I made them a level 2 power plant, then I can go back and upgrade those facilities to level 2 power plants. Okay, very basic 4X strategies type concepts here. But once again, for people who've played phone games and never played a 4X strategy, don't understand what I'm talking about, that's what research is about. Okay, so you eventually want to upgrade these, but not in the beginning, because they cost a ton of resources. Now, development is basically expanding the usable space of your planet. Okay, so currently right now, I actually glitched out the game. This is a beta, after all. I actually built 2 facilities before the moon even had space for them. So right now, there's like a facility that's literally hanging out in space. Okay, maybe it's orbiting or something. I don't know. But you'll notice that it says 54 out of 40. So in other words, my supply cap, or my area cap for the planet on the moon, is only 40. But I currently have 54 amount of facilities on there. Okay, so when you develop a planet, that will give you more space to work with. Okay, that's all development does. And it will allow you to build more things on it. Okay, so let's go back to Earth, which is a better example. 54 or 59. I expanded Earth a few times to go and fit all those facilities in there so it could fit. On the moon, like I said, I glitched it out because this is a beta after all. It's not supposed to do that. I glitched it. I built something that I wasn't supposed to be allowed to build. But the reason why I did that is because I deconstructed something and then built something else in the process, but the game didn't register it. So it's a glitch. It'll probably be patched out in the future. But that's how development works, okay? And that's the research tab. And the final thing is skill. Skill is basically you can go ahead and develop the skill of your individual unit. So I don't like where this is placed, frankly, but I understand the logic behind it because it is research. However, this is strengthening your unit's skill. Okay, I much rather have this at a separate tab, frankly, and I hope the developer, like in the future, someone could tell this to the developer in Korean because that's their language that they speak. I don't know if I'd be able to explain it in English, but basically you're allowed to develop your unit's individual skills here to an additional level and make her stronger, okay? So that's where it's located at. It costs research data, and that is that. And finally, moving on to the bottom right-hand tab, this is the shop icon. I'm actually going to save the shop icon for later and at the end of the video because I got things to say and talk about. Let's move on to the upper right-hand corner with our deck right here. So the deck, as you can see right here, is a weird word of saying our currently active units. I guess the reason why they use the word deck is like these are cards that you've summoned. Some things are lost in translation. Remember, the original developer's language is in Korean, so translating to other languages might be weird. So they use the term deck. So this is your list of units that you've already summoned. Okay, so these are the units you have in your possession. Okay, and right here is your active roster. Okay, you can go ahead and change your roster at any time. Okay, so this is an empty roster right now. Let's say I want Earth and Hemidel only for whatever reasons. I just go and click those two. You'll see a check mark on them. And then if I close that, you'll notice that 2 units are flying. Earth and Hemido. Okay, level 7, level 1. Go and re-click on the deck, and I can modify it to my heart's content, whoever I want to travel with me. Alright? So that's how that system works, pretty self-explanatory. You can go ahead and expand your current roster, or wing, as I like to call it, because everyone's flying, by using cubes. Okay? I don't have enough for another expansion, but that's what that little plus icon is for. So you can have more units travel with you. The bigger, the better. Safety in numbers, etc. Stuff like that. I, of course, wanted to get 5 as soon as possible because that feels like a wing to me, a proper space wing. So yeah, there we go, and they're all flying about. Okay, so that's what that deck tab is. Yeah, and that's all I have to explain about that. Now, I'm not sure if I talked about the mission tab in detail. I think I did, because I'm getting a little bit lost what I was supposed to do. Maybe I talked about it earlier, but I forgot. One thing that I do want to mention before I head over to the shop store and show you guys what to buy, etc., stuff like that, is that because this game is a work in progress, I want to talk a little bit about the combat system, if I may. Now, let me go and zoom out, if I can. This is really hard to do so, believe it or not, on an emulator. Okay, let me go zoom all the way out. There we go. That's the farthest I can zoom. There we go. That's a little bit more tactical. So I'm at a more tactical zoom out now. Because the battle system is live in this game, I would recommend anyone playing it who is interested in it in the future or currently in the beta. You really want to maximize your return of investment in terms of damage, okay? Because units have supply in this game. So not only do they get damaged, but they have to supply. So let me go and show you the supply mechanic. So let me go and head back to Earth right now. You can see this little supply icon, okay? So if I click that supply icon, I can go ahead and resupply my units. So this is their literal energy / ammunition, okay? Now I'm going to supply everybody, select all. And then I'm going to click on the supply all, which is going to maximize the amount of supply. So this doesn't look like much right now, right? 5 crystal, 1 gas, 7 metal, 0 ether. In reality, when these units are near empty supply, this gets quite expensive, okay? So one of the big detriments in this game of not only sucking and dying a lot is that if you waste supply, let's say you throw your head against a very strong enemy, you throw a lot of supply at them in terms of weapons. Sorry, I had to take a swig there. And you don't get anything in return for it. You're going to waste a ton of resources for very little gain. Okay? So you have to be very careful. The supply system is a hidden danger. And I just want to throw that out there. That's just kind of a warning. Once again, this is a beta. It might change in the future, okay? But this is really a tip for the current beta players. For you folks out there just curious of listening to me talk for an obscene amount of time, this does not involve you, okay? No worries, no harm, no foul. You're just watching me move a bunch of little girls in space around, etc., stuff like that. So let me go and see if I can zoom back in. Come on. It's really annoying on an emulator because I have to press control and then mouse wheel, and then like sometimes it doesn't want to like listen. Okay, I think that's as zoomed in as I can go. And let's go and get them on screen because they do look a little cute. There we go. They even have their own little rocket booster. It's color coded. It's adorable. All right, so let's go and click on the shop icon and bring us into all of this stuff. All right. So here is the 100-pound gorilla in the room. What? 100-pound gorilla? Man, that's a starving gorilla. The 1,000-pound gorilla in the room, okay? The 9,000-pound elephant. Jeez, I'm getting tired, guys. So this is your freemium currency. Now, these are all disabled right now because this is a beta. The developer's not going to let you purchase anything. I just want to say that all freemium games suffer from this type of mechanic. Don't hold it against Stella Maiden if you are interested in the game. Like I said before, if you are playing a freemium game, my strategy to you, my advice to you, play multiple freemium games at once. Do yourself a favor. Play 2 or 3 at a time. That way, every time you come back to that respective game, it's new, it's fresh, you're not burned out, and you'll have plenty of energy, stamina, what have you, ready to go for you to enjoy that game for a couple minutes, maybe even an hour or two. Okay, I have a couple of freemium games that take me literally hours to get my dailies done. I have other freemium games where it takes me 20 minutes to get through everything and then I'm done for the day. Like I'm done for that 24-hour period until everything resets. Diversifying what games you play will make you approach it with a much better mindset of having fun rather than griping on this stuff right here. I have played many a game where I have not spent a single dime. Okay, I'm just saying that, right? So the cube purchases, don't let it throw you off. They're there for your convenience. They're there if you want to support the developer. It is what it is, all right? Moving on to the rest of the tabs. These are all pretty self-explanatory. So if you're running short on resources and you don't want to sit there and wait for 1 gas per 10 minutes, buy them straight out with cubes. Once again, freemium, you don't have to. It's a convenience factor. Some people have disposable income. They don't mind dropping the developer a couple bucks, and they're going to go ahead and get faster, stronger, quicker by going ahead and spending cubes. And that is true for everything else. So you can go and buy some extra cores. You're going to go ahead and buy some extra slots, which I personally believe are your best returns on investment. These things right here are the things that you are going to want to spend your cubes on first if you're trying to min-max your efficacy in returns. I'm going to skip the costume right now. Just bear with me. Train tickets. You can go and buy some train tickets. In other words, buying 1 train ticket will go ahead and give you another instance. And then you can also watch ads for free resources. Okay, so this is your freebie tab. Just go and click on this. You can go and click on one of these things. It will show you an ad from Unity. Watch it, suffer through the 30 seconds of something you're not interested in. And then once you're done, it'll go ahead and give you that respective resource. And it's probably going to give you a timer until you watch the next ad, because Unity does not allow developers to spam ads because that's considered cheating the system. All right. Now, before we go on to the last and final part of the video, the part that everyone's been waiting for, the costumes, the skins. Let me go and take a swig here. All right. So in this section, I'm going to give you a warning. I'm going to post a picture of some kind of cute animal. I don't know yet, because I haven't edited this video yet. Maybe bunnies, maybe kittens, maybe ducklings. I don't know. Okay? The following is not safe for work. It's NSFW. All right? I'm giving you a warning right now. Cover your phone, cover your tablet, turn it upside down. If you're at work or something like that, you can still allow me to play my voice so you can hear me, or you can watch it later. Okay? If you're at home and someone's sensitive in the room, just alt tab. Just listen to my voice. Okay? Like I said, you can watch it in privacy later. Okay? I've given you your warning. You have been warned. So let's go ahead and click on the costumes. So the costumes are one of the big appeals in a game like this. They allow you to customize your units, okay? So remember earlier I showed you that the units themselves have different costumes. You can go ahead and pick costumes for them, and you can customize them, which is great. It gives you incentive to save certain resources, like in this particular aspect, cubes. it also gives you something to go for, because when you get further and further in the game, you do want to have goals, right? And these costumes are going to be goals for a lot of people. It's certainly going to be goals for me. So yeah, that's pretty much what they are. So right now in the beta, we currently have 3 costumes. We have one for Earth, we have one for Saturn, and we have one for the ever lovely Jupiter, my favorite girl and planet from the previous game. All right. So yeah, so let's go and start with Earth. This is her summer skin, looking very lovely, very dapper, I should say, very classy skin. Believe me, this is the classiest of the 3. And cute little rubber ducky right there, and this is her skin. So if you buy this skin, it's going to cost you that amount of cubes, and you're actually going to get a bonus for purchasing the skin in the form of 300 crystals, 3 Reflectstar cores, as well as 3 blueprint cores. Okay, so that is that. Moving on from that, we'll have the Saturn skin, a much more outgoing skin. This is a intergalactic, interuniversal inner tube. Is that is that how you pronounce it? It's something in outer space, because this is Saturn, and I get the imagery here because Saturn has rings. You get it? She has a ring around her. You get it? You get it, folks? You get it now? All right, good. Moving on, and then we have Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter is the largest planet, the largest star in the solar system. Yes, I know my teacher in high school is like really ashamed. Why is my teacher in high school even watching this? Anyway. So Jupiter is the biggest one, and there's a reason why she's big, and yes, this is where the NSFW comes in. I'm not saying the other 2 weren't NSFW, but this is Jupiter. She's my favorite from the previous game. She's going to be the favorite in this game for obvious reasons. You know why? Because I like ice cream. There you go. She's eating ice cream. What other reason why she wouldn't be my favorite? Huh? You tell me in the comments. Anyway, those are the skins. Those are the costumes. That's what's that all about. Pretty expensive stuff in terms of cubes, but they are there for us to buy, and in the future there will be more skins for our other characters. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Stella Maiden's beta in a gigantic dump truck. I was going to say nutshell, but no, it's a gigantic dump truck. This video has gone long enough. So in any case, if you have any questions about this game, I am learning with you. I didn't explain every single aspect in this video, but hopefully I gave you an idea of what to expect in this game, especially if you are going to apply for the beta or if you're going to are playing the beta. But like I said, feel free to ask me questions. And if you're not, if you're just interested in this game, if you like real-time combat, you like a 4X strategy, you like a game in space, you like cute little girls flying around blowing the crap out of stuff, and then, Saturn has rings and Jupiter has thick. This is the game for you. This is certainly the game for me, and I'm loving it so far. I'm so happy that Miss got this game into beta. I will sing to the high heavens in trying to spread the word about this game to everyone that I can. To previous fans of my channel who maybe played another game, check this game out. I think it's really cool. It looks nice. When it does become available, and I will keep you guys updated on my website. But of course, if you need to track it yourself, head on over to the official Facebook, both on Planet Master's Facebook, because that's where the developer is still active, as well as the newly developed Stella Maiden Facebook. Okay, right now I think he's currently responding to the Planet Master Facebook faster, because that's what he's used to checking, or he or she's used to checking. It's them, it's the company in general. But yeah, feel free to follow the Stella Maiden one as well. I'll link that in the video description. I think I'll throw it up on screen right now briefly in editing. Okay, but that's that, guys. So never be afraid to ask questions. I will answer every single one. I do read all the comments, even the negative ones. I just don't post them because I do moderate all my comments. I'm not doing that to censor anybody. It's just that YouTube's weird, wacky notification system. I need to put it on auto mod so that they'll notify me that I have a comment, because otherwise it doesn't tell me that I have comments, and it's nasty, and it's YouTube problems. But anyway, and feel free to visit me on my website, boxinacorner.net, if you want to hear me talk about other crap in the form of text. I do so over there. I also have various interests as well. Okay, so I'm not just about video games, I'm not just about Androids, I'm not just about Jupiters all day long, okay, even though I want to be. So yeah, that's a plug for my own stuff. And check out my other content on my YouTube, okay? You might find something you like. And give me a go and subscribe and follow if you do. And that is that. So I will see you guys for the next video, whatever it may be. Maybe it's going to be on more Stella Maiden. Maybe it's going to be on something else. Whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it. So I'll see you around, folks. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.